Greetings players and welcome back to a new video. After a long break we are back, fully charged and ready to bring you some new content. I'm your host Garlic Bread, and in today's video we will discuss the strongest Pauper Commanders in Modern Horizon 3. But without further saying, let's jump right into it. Starting with Horrid Shadow Spinner. A drop 3, 1 colorless and Dimir for a 2-3 creature with lifelink that states: whenever these creatures attack, you may draw cards equal to its power. If you do, discard that many cards. Overall, we think that the commander has a lot of potential used in tempo decks, paired with cards that can buff its power, but also with Madness, Flashback, Unearth and Escape, thus effectively not losing any value by discarding cards from our hands. It could also be a friendly commander used in combo decks, which instead of tutoring your combos piece, you will draw into them. Golden Tail Trainer. A cost 3, 1 colorless and Celestia for a 1-3 creature that states: our end equipment spells cast cost X less to cast, where X is its power. Whenever Golden Tail Trainer attacks, other modified creatures you control get +X until the end of the turn, where X is the commander's power. It's fairly easy in this color combination to find ways to protect the commander. Meanwhile, as the game proceeds, raise the number of creatures on our board and enhancing their power for a deadly swing against the opponent. On a sour note, it's difficult to find a balance between creatures, tokens and auras. Touchbound Condor. A drop 4, 2 colorless and double black for a 0/0 creature with flying and modular 3 that states: whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gets -1/-1 until the end of the turn. Really a menacing commander, which can easily decimate the opponent board, especially due to its effect working even with tokens. On top of that, it can swing for a huge amount of damages, carefree of blockers. Probably one of my favorite commanders of this set, so expect an in-depth deck tech. Emissary of Soulfire. A drop 2, 1 colorless and Azorius for a 1/4 that states: whenever this creature enters the battlefield, you get 3 energy counters. Paying 2 energy, target creature will get an exalted counter, only at sorcery speed. Gotta say that Pepiniello loves this creature and was so hyped to build a commander revolving around the energy counters. Its main strength is that in this color combination it's easy to obtain energies by bouncing it, and on top of that, the exalted counters are stackable, making the receiving creature a huge problem to deal with, especially if it has any sort of protection. Emu Messenger. It's a 2 mana, 1 colorless and blue, 2/1 creature with flying and the void. The states: whenever you draw your second card during each turn, create a 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn with sacrifice add colorless. A tremendous card for all the mono-blue tempo players, which can remove one of the main lack of blue decks, the absence of ramp and ritual, giving them a lot more room to respond to possible threats. Metastatic Evangel. It's a drop 2, 1 colorless and white for a 3/1 creature that states: whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, proliferate. For real, this creature is packed to be an uncommon. Shield counters, +1/+1, -1/-1, and stun and poison counters can all get proliferated this way. The only lack of this commander is always referred to its color. Not having ways to replenish your hand with creatures or bouncing spells might be a problem. Tron Wavebreaker. It's a 1 mana mono blue creature with bestow for 2 manas and prowless until it's a creature. Meanwhile, it's paired with a creature that creatures gets +1/+1 and prowless. Truly an astounding card, easily playable early on and can guarantee a ton of damage to the opponent's face. We are also preparing a deck list for this commander, so stay tuned for it. In my opinion, it might even become one of the best Pauper dual commander decks. First Wombat. It's a drop 2 Golgari 2/3 creature with pay 2 and Golgari adapt 2, and permanents you control have: whenever one of more +1/+1 counters are put on this permanent, put an additional +1/+1 counter on it. This ability triggers only once each turn. Similar to Wind Constrictor, this creature offers a better late game, sacrificing the possibility to utilize multiple times per permanent its effect. but also avoiding getting extra counter on us players. The effect is not a replacement effect, thus for example Basking Broad Scales effect would trigger twice. All around it's a great creature in this color combination and probably will offer a suitable replacement for Winding Constrictor for more +1/+1 centered decks. Propagator on Drone. It's a drop 2, 1 colorless and green, for a 2/2 creature with the Void, the states. Creature tokens you control have Evolve, and by paying 3 plus a green mana you can create a 0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn with Sacrifice add colorless. Amazing card for token decks, which will for sure top up the main problematic of tokens decks, the late game power. In fact, by playing this commander, not only is it possible to go wild, but also to go tall, especially diversifying the token created. The main turn off of this deck, in my opinion, is that it's not Celestia, so doesn't have access to the maximum value of tokens and counter synergy. Titan's Vanguard. It's a heavy drop 5, 3 colorless and Gruul, 5/5 creature with the Void and Trample. The states: whenever you cast this spell and when this card attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on each colorless creature you control. We need a lot of colorless creature to make it work, and unfortunately in Pauper Commander there aren't many good choices. Of course we could aim for flying creatures like Ornithopter or Ornithopter of Paradise, but if the commander gets removed we would be stuck with a wide board without any killing potential, thus making the commander a real double-edged sword. This said, let us know in the comment which commander you are most hyped for in Modern Horizon 3, and we will see as always in the next episode. Bye!